Rayan, welcome to Manchester City and congratulations on signing for the club. I know you were very, very keen to join us. Just explain to our fans who are watching this interview why you were so determined to become a Manchester City player.
I'm very excited for play to the Manchester City. It's the biggest club in Europe. I love the style of play. It's very important for me and it's my choice, and I think it's the best choice in my career.
Before the floodlights, before the headlines, there was a boy from Lyon who played football like he was painting poetry on concrete. Rayan Cherki wasn't born into privilege, but he was born with vision, the kind that made older kids stop mid-game just to watch. At Olympique Lyonnais, he was a name whispered in corridors before he was even a teenager. Coaches said he played as if the ball belonged to him, and maybe it did, because at just 16 years old, he became Lyon's youngest ever debutant in European competition, scoring twice, assisting once, and smiling like a kid who had just broken the rules of football itself. The media called him the next Zidane, the French Neymar, the new Benzema. But those who knew him best said something else entirely. Rayan just sees things no one else can. He didn't just play football, he danced with it. Flicks, spins, back heels, but behind all the flair was a sharp, calculating mind. He wasn't showing off, he was experimenting. Even Kylian Mbappé, back then already a world champion, once said privately after a youth match, "Cherki is different. If he focuses, he'll go far." And Pep Guardiola? He'd already circled the name. Reports say he told his staff, this one has that street soul football needs again. At Lyon, fans didn't just watch him, they felt him. When he scored, it wasn't just a goal, it was a glimpse of something rare. A reminder that street footballers still exist in a system that often suffocates creativity. But genius in football walks a fine line between brilliance and burnout. And for Rayan Cherki, that line was about to blur. At Manchester City in June 2025 with lights, cameras, and expectations. A 5-year deal from Olympique Lyonnais, a new number 10 shirt on the horizon, and whispers of greatness echoing in every corridor. But in football, nothing is won off paper. Everything must be proved, on the pitch, under pressure, in front of the world. Just days after his arrival, Cherki was handed his first chance at the global stage, the FIFA Club World Cup opener against Wydad AC. In the 18th of June 2025 match, City's lineup screamed ambition, new signings, fresh faces, and the world watching. The crowd felt the energy, and for Cherki, the nerves. He looked nervous. The stage was bigger than the ball at his feet. On debut, he clocked about 60 minutes. Mixed reviews followed. Some hailed flashes of brilliance, others saw hesitation. One report gave him a 5-10, an unremarkable debut after such hype. Touches, 35. Accurate passes, 20-27. Dribbles attempted 2, 1 success. Easy to count the numbers, harder to count the pressure. Yet that match also contained the seed of something new. A few precise passes. A moment when he drew a defender wide, freed up Foden with space. The crowd held its breath. He wasn't completely ready, but the hint of his rhythm was there. When City crushed Al Ain's 6-0 thing, the journey another. Rayan has rhythm. You can't rush rhythm. It finds its own time. Pep Guardiola. Meanwhile, Lyon's former academy director highlighted Cherki's early ambition, said to win the Champions League and the Ballon d'Or. This moment, the global debut, the scrutiny, the first goal didn't change everything overnight, but it changed something fundamental. Cherki no longer watched destiny from the sidelines. He stepped up into its frame and was enormous. A 30 to 40 million pound transfer, a Premier League giant, a number 10 shirt to wear. The weight was real, but the moment showed that the flame of his genius still burned, and maybe, just maybe, it was ready to blaze. When Manchester City came knocking, Rayan Cherki didn't just sign a contract, he stepped into a completely different world. Gone were the playground pitches of Lyon, the teasing chants of the French crowd who adored his chaos. Now it was Pep Guardiola's domain, where even brilliance had to fit inside a blueprint. Behind closed doors, City's scouts had been watching him for over a year. Reports filtered back, he has street magic. Unpredictable, fearless, volatile. He can break any defensive structure or break himself trying. Guardiola saw it too. He wasn't looking for another system player. He was looking for a spark, something raw, something different, and Cherki was that chaos embodied. When the deal was finally done, Rayan was only 21, but his story had already twisted through the noise, overhyped by the media, criticized by pundits, doubted by coaches who said he was too individual. City fans didn't know what to expect. A luxury talent? A new Mahrez? Or another flash in the pan? Then came his first training session, and witnesses said it was like watching street football inside an orchestra. Foden, Bernardo, Doku, all paused when Cherki began his dribbling drills. Quick step-overs, faint drops of the shoulder, no wasted movement. Guardiola just smiled and said quietly to an assistant, "You can't coach that, you can only protect it." But protection isn't easy in a team obsessed with perfection. Rayan had to learn control, not just of the ball, but of his impulses. In Lyon, he was free. In City, every touch was a statement. He struggled at first. The rhythm of the Premier League, fast, brutal, tactical, almost drowned his instinctive play. Critics began whispering again, maybe he's not built for this level. He was benched, rotated, forgotten in a squad filled with stars. Then came the injury, a nasty muscle tear during a League Cup fixture. Months on the sidelines. For a young player chasing belonging, that silence felt like exile. But this was where Rayan changed. During rehab, he didn't vanish, he studied. Footage of Messi's patience, Mahrez's timing, Foden's movement between lines, and slowly he began blending his Lyon fire with City's discipline. In an interview after returning, he said, "At Lyon, I played with my heart. At City, I'm learning to think with it." And when he finally returned, it showed, sharper, quieter. But when the ball found his feet, still the same unpredictable chaos wrapped in calmness. Guardiola told the media after one comeback game, "Rayan has rhythm. You can't rush rhythm. It finds its own time." Little did they know, his time was closer than anyone imagined. A moment when everything changed. It wasn't a final whistle, not a defeat. It was a quiet pull, a muscle that betrayed the body built for brilliance. In early August 2025, Cherki felt that familiar sharpness in a training session with Manchester City. The scan confirmed it. A thigh, quadriceps, tear. Weeks turned into nearly 2 months on the sidelines. For a player who had spent years chasing the big break, it felt like time itself turned against him. During the sterile rehab sessions, while others chased records, Cherki watched. He watched the drills, his teammates' touches, the crowd's roar. From the bench, from afar. The world whispered, "Too fragile? Not ready." And Cherki knew the real opponent wasn't the defender across from him. It was the doubt inside him. But football doesn't respect fears forever. On the 29th of October 2025, at the Carabao Cup 4th round match at Swansea City, Cherki made his return. Starting for the first time in over 2 months, he looked different, sharper. He did more than play. He changed the game. He created 6 chances, made 59 final third passes, team high, and sealed the win with a cool finish in stoppage time to send City to the quarterfinals. I feel very good because I was injured for a long time and I'm very happy to be back and play with my mates. Cherki. The roar of the crowd wasn't just relief, it was validation. He wasn't back just to be seen, he was back to matter. His muscles healed, his mind sharpened. The Grail wasn't just to return, but to rise. Now, the horizon is bigger than ever. He isn't just recovering, he's planning. A dream once whispered in Lyon, now shouted in Manchester. With Manchester City, it's possible. I want to win the Ballon d'Or. Cherki. His ambitions are stratospheric, and at City, he sees the vehicle. For me, he's the best coach in the world. I am passionate to play for him. Cherki on Pep Guardiola. Guardiola knows it too. Technically and individually, he is top. Pep on Cherki. He sees the lightning underneath the calm. A player who can unsettle defenders, but also fit into elite structure. The next phase isn't just about making up for lost time. It's about evolving. No longer merely the Lyon flair kid. Not simply recovering star. He is generating expectations of world-class dominance. And so, his vision grows. Make the difference in the Champions League nights. Become central to City's future titles. Rewrite the story of the French Prodigy who stayed, matured, and exploded. Because the world isn't just watching his return, it's waiting for his arrival. There's something poetic about silence after a storm. For Rayan Cherki, that silence came not from applause or headlines, but from understanding. He'd learned that hype fades, but hunger doesn't. And this time, he isn't chasing spotlight, he's commanding it. Training sessions at City now look different, where once he was the kid trying to impress Pep with stepovers, he's now the player Guardiola trusts to unlock deep blocks, the one who changes rhythm when the pitch feels frozen. Every feint, every shoulder dip, every threaded pass looks like defiance, a message to everyone who said his talent wouldn't translate to consistency. Inside the dressing room, his aura is growing, not loud, not arrogant, but respected. Bernardo calls him a magician. Haaland, he calls him a nightmare to defend in training. And Pep simply smiles when reporters ask about him. He has that street footballer energy, the unpredictability you can't coach. But what's most fascinating isn't the praise, it's the patience. Cherki now studies. He watches film after film, De Bruyne's movement, Foden's decision-making, Mahrez's timing. He's becoming a student of elite football, because talent gave him a head start, but maturity will define his legacy, and it's beginning to show. In the Premier League, his minutes are increasing. He's become the wild card City can't bench. The player Pep unleashes when the game needs chaos. A sudden drop of the shoulder, a glide past two defenders, a curling assist into the 6-yard box, moments that look improvised, but are rehearsed in silence. Then there's France. Deschamps has him on the radar again. The whispers in the French media are growing louder. The Lyon boy who left to find himself might soon return to lead. And if you ask Cherki what comes next, he won't talk about contracts or wages. He'll talk about belonging. Belonging in those European nights. Belonging in the story of French football's new era. Because beneath the confidence, there's a promise. A promise to himself, to Lyon, to those empty nights of rehab and doubt. That one day, he'll make the world see what he already knows. He was never overrated, just unfinished. So when he walks out under the Etihad lights now, there's no nervous energy, just calm intensity. The same kid who used to play in the concrete pitches of Lyon, who used to chase shadows of Benzema and Cherki, is now casting his own. And maybe, just maybe, this isn't the comeback story everyone expected. Maybe this is something rarer, the becoming of a player the world didn't fully understand until it was too late to stop.